Derek, obviously back in for a bit of testing in pre-season today. How the boys looking?
Great, aye. Like what you expect, to be honest, these days. You know, they've been on a programme. They get the first couple of weeks off to try and totally kind of get that downtime and give their body that rest. But such is the way these days, players are so aware of what they need to get to and how much work they need to do in the close season. So it's just been a bit fine-tuning that. I actually feel as though we've had a good break this time around, and you know, from a mental side of it, being able to try and switch off a bit. Obviously, my job is different for the players. The players just need to look after themselves. My job is more about phone calls and try to make sure we keep the bulk of the squad with us. But from a physical point of view, the players have been terrific. You know, with a bare minimum what we expected of them. They were all aware of that. So the programme that they were set would allow them to reach that with real confidence, and they've all done that today. So they've come back in good nick, as you'd expect, which then allows us, knowing that they've had that base fitness, and we can get into our proper work from tomorrow. We're going to Larg for a couple of days before we set off to Spain on Monday. So we'll get a few sessions in. There'll be another 4 sessions in before we get to Spain on Monday, and then we just all about fine-tuning the work from there and getting that base fitness. Because pre-season it's not just about getting them fit for the first game of the season, it's about getting that core fitness that allows them to be fitter for the whole season. And it kind of underpins everything. It's so important for players to complete pre-season and especially try to complete as many sessions as possible. And it's just reinforcing all those messages. Their body needs them to recover well, they need them to be fully focused, and getting the lads away from family duties and just being selfish from their own recovery point of view is very important. So we look forward to that, and then it's obviously fine-tuning stuff with some game time and working towards the 25th of July.
There's obviously been some good business done nice and early, the likes of Stuart and Bruce. It must be all the better having these guys in the door on day one. Yeah,
I think we spoke often enough about the strength of the squad last season. So. And I said to you guys at the end, we weren't looking to do too much. Obviously, we're still keen to try and bring 1 or 2 of the lads that were with us back, but getting the core of the squad to remain here was very important for us, because we did have a good season. I think it's important that you always strive to improve your squad, try and improve your starting 11 if you can, and that's sometimes difficulty. There's a difficulty with that, but we, in comparison to previous year, we've got the kind of core group there and good numbers here for testing, good numbers for the start of the season, and hopefully we can still make those additions. Obviously Bruce is a new face to the club, but getting the likes of Bruce in to provide that different type of front player, getting the likes of Stu Finlay, as you mentioned, back here when we knew there was other clubs interested in him. It was great to get that kind of business done early, and the club deserve a lot of credit for that, and being so on the ball and so proactive. Obviously me as manager and Russ as the head of recruitment were pushing and prodding all the time to try and get things moved along. And sometimes you've got players who are attached to other clubs and players looking at different options. A lot of these English clubs as well aren't even thinking about next season yet. They're in the kind of start of their holiday. They don't come back to the first week or 2 in July. So, but there's obviously a kind of a situation where it's pressing for us to try and get the squad as secure and as filled up as possible for the European game, and that's what we're working towards. And thankfully we don't have the League Cup games coming on us really quickly. We can go at our own pace. We've tried to get those last 2 weeks of pre-season games on Thursday nights. We got Ayr United game on a Thursday night, and we tried to get the Barrow game for the Thursday, but we couldn't quite get a fixture for that Thursday. But we'll just try to kind of get that kind of adaptation for Thursday night football, and then get ready for the game against Bruges in the 25th.
And obviously on that draw, Circle Bruges will be coming here, and then we'll be going there for the second leg. What did you make of the draw?
Yeah, it was obviously exciting sitting watching it with my son yesterday, Charlie, and you know, seeing who would get. Obviously it was broken down into the 5 teams. I think from a technical point of view, I think Circle Bruges will be up there. I think it's a difficult game for us, but you know, we knew the calibre of teams we were going to be involved with, and we knew it was going to be difficult. So any team that was named I'd be saying the same thing. It's just exciting to see Kilmarnock in that draw. and for us to go and, as I say, try and be as best prepared as we can for it, because, you know, nobody will really give us a chance. They're seeded for a reason. The Belgian league is littered with top talent, and there's a lot of value in their squad. They've got a young squad. We don't know too much about them. Certainly didn't know anything about them really up until the draw. But by the time the game comes round, we'll all be well versed. We've got our scouts going out to watch them close season. We've got all their games on our laptops now to watch from last season. There'll be a few changes for every club. You know, they've had a few players on loan and the like, so therell be some changes to their squad. But hopefully by the time we come around, not hopefully, we will be well versed in their strengths and their qualities, how they play. And we've just got to try and be as ready for that as we possibly can be from our own side, and making sure that nobody's ever going to be at their best at that early in the season, but I think with the nature of the game and the level of opponent, it's important we try and strive to get there.
And obviously the first leg will be here under the lights. That's going to be a special night.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully a big crowd in to kind of get behind the lads. We're going to have to latch on to every bit of help and support we can to get a positive result. But I think it is important, you know, we'll speak about it before then, but I think it's important that we try and get a positive result to go over to Belgium with.
And just in terms of squads and transfers, is there anything to be expected in the coming weeks?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, there's still scope to do a few things, and we're still working hard on, without getting into specifics, still working hard to try and get 2 or 3 in. Every position that we want to bring in, they've all been identified. We know the players we would like to try and get, so it's not as if there's balls up in the air and we're still undecided about who we want to bring. We want to bring in certain players, and if we can't, then we move down. You know, there's options for all those positions that we're still trying to bring in, and hopefully, as I say, we can be quite productive over the next couple of weeks, certainly ahead of the game, to get a few more additions in.